At first, I would like to call on an individual who's very important, in my view, in his role for the development of the economy for both local Russian investors abroad and for foreign investors seeking to come into Russia. And that is Pyotr Fradkov, who is the head of the Export Support Agency. I would call it akin to what in the United States we call Exim Bank. And I'd like Mr. Fradkov, if you would, to comment on the relevance of the agency not only to domestic investors seeking to go abroad, but also to foreign investors seeking to come into Russia, and perhaps also a comment on the market in Russia for the funding and credits that your agency provides. Mr. Fradkov.
Спасибо большое.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Somers. Thank you very much for giving me the floor, giving me the possibility of presenting here. I can even say right now that this is a great conference. This is not only my evaluation, but also evaluation of many experts present here. And I really hope that this event will be held on the annual basis in the future. So, on the one hand, I would like to concentrate on a number of interesting things that are maybe kind of new for some of us. About a year ago, it was the government of the Russian Federation that finally made a decision and actually stated their desire to create a new system in the country. Well, a new system not for the world, but for the Russian Federation, the system of supporting Russian export, engineering and manufacturing products, and investing into the foreign sites. So it was XR agency, Russian Federation agency, and the objective was to conduct operations in this field. I'm not going to dwell upon that right now, but all of you as professionals, you are aware of the fact that, well, you know, they are the key institutions, such as Hermes, for example, Hermes, Exim Bank. You just know most of them, and you can hear them almost every single day. So we set before ourselves, let's say, a very large target. By establishing new institutions, we are talking about developing the system. So we are just talking about enhancing investment climate. If we return to the last Davos forum, economic forum at Davos, I'm talking about the last one. When they talked about Russia, you could actually summarize everything that was said there in 2 sentences. So when they talked about Russia, they mostly talked about partnership and lack of partnership and new institutions. Maybe even without the word new, because they are not new for the global market. So if we talk about RF membership in WTO, if we talk about the APEC context as well, we can understand that right now in Russia, we do not have enough institutions that could help Russia to cooperate with their partners abroad. Of course, with our WTO membership, we took upon ourselves certain liabilities. We know that according to, we are going to lose certain things in several industrial sectors in several regions, and nobody is going to argue about that. That is quite obvious. But I'm pretty sure that here we are talking about short-term effect. The long-term effect surely would be quite favorable for the country. And I'm pretty sure that our WTO membership would give us the necessary access to lots of very useful instruments. Well, in order for us to profit from our WTO membership, surely we have to employ the instruments, the new instruments we achieved access to. You know that we have a number of agencies that are being established in the Russian Federation. One of them was presented here today. So such institutions could become a really great conductor between theoretical understanding of WTO membership and practical implementation of this notion in real life. So this is our objective. But specifically what we can do. Well, objectively, Russia becomes a segment of the global chain of added value. As we understand that foreign investors are eager to go to Russia, they are eager to establish new companies here on the one hand, and on the other hand, they are looking for the consumer market. Surely they need to see that there is a consumer market out there for them to come to this market. And we understand that Russia is in a favorable position if compared to other CIS countries. And in this context, I believe we really can succeed. So the second very important aspect, what Russia can offer from the point of guarantees to foreign investors. So we understand that right now we are in such a situation that when Russian investors, well, in countries with higher risks, like in Southeastern Asia and Africa, Russian investors are really welcome there. So that is why, together with our foreign partners, we are trying to come up with appropriate structures for Russian entrepreneurs to enter different projects in, let us say so, risky markets, like, for example, I have been in Zambia not long ago, and we understand that such projects in such risky regions could not be implemented without support on the government part. So we can discuss such projects only in such a case when we have enough support on the part of financial sector, on the part of banks. And right now, we can see that both Russian and foreign banks are getting back to certain conventional techniques, as, for example, commodity financing, structural financing, because the risks and volatility at capital markets makes banks shift to classical instruments. And one of our objectives was to prepare the regulatory legislative basis for both Russian and foreign banks to use their instruments, including different insurance instruments in the market. So we have tried to change a little bit the legislature for central bank, so that right now Russian banks will not have to create reserves for financing exports. And then also for coefficients of N1 and 6 for a number of loaners, we have really huge incentives. So here we are talking about tax incentives and incentives in the sphere of currency operations. So what I can say, we are trying to do a lot in changing legislative basis, and I'm pretty sure that will lead to certain specific results. So that was really briefly. I can understand that this is a very large topic, and maybe just after the session I will be able to talk privately and just explain more about the instruments, about our approaches, and I really hope that all this will be in great demand on the part of investors and Russian banks. Thank you.